If you're like most English learners, pronouncing long, complicated words probably stresses you out, literally. Many non native speakers get really concerned about pronunciation of 4, 5, and 6 syllable words. Where does the word stress go? How do I say each one correctly? It can get a little challenging. But there's something you haven't considered that's actually affecting the way you sound when speaking English. We need to talk about one syllable words. So many non native speakers pronounce one syllable words really quickly, and that makes their English sound really choppy and robotic. In previous videos, I've talked about how native English speakers tend to prefer clear, simple vocabulary over these complicated 4, 5, and 6 syllable words. We even have trouble pronouncing them ourselves. So, what I really want to focus on today is how you should really use word stress on one syllable words. Not every one syllable word needs to be said quickly and reduced. Only the function words need to be reduced. But most sentences contain many one syllable content words. So let's talk a little bit about that. So just as a quick review, if you haven't already studied word stress with me, please sign up for my free email course, Sound More Natural in just 5 days at soundmorenatural.com. When you stress a syllable, you make it longer, louder, and higher in pitch. And this is why when you're stressing one syllable words, the entire word needs to be longer, louder, and higher in pitch. If you don't stress these one-syllable content words, your speech is going to sound choppy, monotone, and even robotic. When you don't stress one-syllable words, or you stress them exactly the same as unstressed one-syllable words, it can make your language sound unnatural, and it also makes it harder for a native English speaker to understand you. Remember, native English speakers are listening for that natural rhythm of English that comes from different stress in the sentences. In normal sentences, the content words are stressed and the function words are unstressed or even reduced. So if you're not stressing your content words, it's hard for native English speakers to hear which words are most important in your sentence. Stressing words signals that these words are important and require extra attention to your listener. So let's talk about a couple of example sentences that have short one-syllable words that need to be stressed. So let's start with the sentence, "Let's wait for the bus." Many non-native speakers say each of these syllables about the same. Let's wait for the bus, right? That's a little exaggerated, but that robotic sound tends to happen. Let's wait for the bus. Let's wait for the bus. Let's wait for the bus. That's where you get that monotone when it's hard to distinguish which words are stressed and which words are not as important. So let's look at how we should stress this particular sentence. Let's wait for the bus. Let's wait for the bus. Let's wait for the bus. So as you notice, let's wait and bus are stressed in this sentence. And for the are reduced because they are function words. They're not as important. Let's wait for the bus. So if you pronounce all of those syllables exactly the same, it's not going to be clear which words are important. By stressing let's wait and bus, I am very clear that these are the words that are most important. Let's try another example. When I'm tired, I drink some tea. When I'm tired, I drink some tea. When I'm tired, I drink some tea. If you pronounce each of these syllables exactly the same, you're not going to distinguish the important words, but the important words are when tired, drink tea. When I'm tired, I drink some tea. That creates the rhythm of English. Let's try another example. When I left the house, it was cold. 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 As you notice, stressing when, left, house, and cold helps give you the main meaning of the sentence. Here's another one. After we eat, we'll watch the show. After we eat, we'll watch the show. After we eat, we'll watch the show. As you notice, by stressing after, eat, watch, and show, I've signaled to you the most important words of the sentence and created that natural rhythm in English. Now let's try a couple of longer examples where the majority of the words are one syllable long. The man you told me about came by the office. The man you told me about came by the office. The man you told me about came by the office. The man you told me about came by the office. As you notice, I'm stressing the word by and not came in that sentence because that's a phrasal verb and we usually stress the particle or the word that looks like a preposition on a verb version of a phrasal verb. The man you told me about came by the office. As you notice, even on these longer sentences, being sure to stress these one-syllable words is really helping increase the clarity of my speech. Let's try one more very long example. When I'm tired, I drink some tea so that I can try and wake up. When I'm tired, I drink some tea so that I can try and wake up. When I'm tired, I drink some tea so that I can try and wake up. When I'm tired, I drink some tea so that I can try and wake up. As you notice, once again, I'm stressing the particle on the phrasal verb, but you notice that even in a long sentence like this, being sure to distinguish the words that are stressed from the words that are reduced or unstressed really helps increase the impact of my sentence. It makes it very clear to the listener which words are important. So let's listen to that one more time. When I'm tired, I drink some tea so that I can try and wake up. As you can see, syllable stress is really important on one-syllable words. If you're not stressing your one-syllable words, you're reducing the impact of your speech and you're increasing your accent. You really want to make sure you use word stress on these one-syllable words. I hope this tip has been helpful for you and helps you feel more confident speaking more clearly when paying attention to your word stress in your sentences. Once again, I'm Kim from EnglishWithKim.com. I am your guide to the essential conversation skills you need to sound more natural in English. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below the video. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Have a good one. Goodbye.